Hey, everybody, it's your girl off the dock B. She's in the building. And guess what? We have a special treat for you tonight. Listen, I'm going to have to let my co host take over on this one because he brought her on and it's going to be all the way live. Tell them about Bring It to the Table.
Yes, here we go once again. Back in the building. We're back in the building. She already introduced herself. That's the author Doc B. And I'm the co-host of Azzam Azzam once again in the building. So let's first just talk about Bring It to the Table, the podcast, right? That deals with all types of social justice issues in our communities. We talking about the equality. We talking about the freedom. We talking about the need for proper healing that takes place right here at Bring It to the Table. We talking about addressing people who have overcome, conquered, and survived all types of addiction, all types of traumas, and are now living beyond their dreams.
Yes.
Again, this podcast is an offspring from Dr. B's book, right, entitled The 3 C's, How I Survived Crack, Cancer, and COVID-19. Let's not forget her memoir, the self-help book that went viral with Amazon, that got her nominated as the bestseller for health as well. So yeah, we are streaming live. Call your friends, share this right now, like, subscribe. Let's do all of that because we are on Spotify, Facebook, Twitter, and Indeed. But what we talking about today, right? We got this sister straight out of Queens. Today's topic: Gangsterette to productive member society. Like, and it's going down. Let's bring her into the studio. Let's bring her on there so the people can see.
My God. Y'all better go get your popcorn. I done told y'all.
Peace and blessings, everyone.
There she goes. She is
How
in
you
the
doing?
building.
All right.
Toya C, welcome. Welcome to Bring It to the Table, sis.
Welcome.
We are here now. We're going to have some relative questions for you. You know, Doc B, she's going to jump in and out probably, but what I'm thankful for is I had an opportunity to meet you at another platform. Actually, he was one of our guests one time out here too as well. And when Doc B heard you, said we got to bring you to share that love that you shared with them, to bring it to the table, because it would not be fair if you don't come give us some dessert. So, Doc, do you want to start this off? How you want to do this, Doc?
Oh, you know I can. It will bring me nothing
Come on,
more.
please. I would love for you to start this
more.
off.
Okay, hi, Lady T. I call you Queen, Lady T, all those things.
Hey, Dr. B, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Can you just tell the audience who are you? Who's Toya? We got Toya in the building with us. So can you? I'm talking about today's Toya. Who is she?
Oh wow, who am I?
Yeah.
I say every day I am, because I'm different every day. I bring myself. Sometimes coming with strength and the spirit of Toya, which is a little different. You know, when I say I am, I am. What you see is what you get. I'm on a journey. I'm on my path to spirituality. I like to say what my brother said one time, we on the fourth quarter. And I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to be here. This has been a journey for me to get where I'm at. I'm a social worker. Funny to say that I'm a community social worker. I like the community. I like the streets. I like the people of the streets. So I like to help because I come from the street. That's why I'm a woman of my people, the community, people of color.
Yeah, I love that about you. I'll never forget when we were on the other platform, and I heard the tone of your voice and how you began to interact and talk about Black people. Period. I said, "Oh, it reminded me of the Black Panthers and things of that nature." And I was like, it reminded me of things from Harlem or something like that. I'm like, man, was she at the Cotton Club or something? Like, what's going on? And it just like, I don't know. It was something that hit me on the inside. And I'm like, she powerful. And that's what the people need to hear, someone who is rallying for us and advocating, for us, for the betterment of us, the people. You know what I mean?
It's funny you talk about the Cotton Club, because as a young child, I was introduced to the Cotton Club from my grandmother. Because back when I was I was the baby.
Uh-huh.
Our parents and grandparents took us where they went. And music was the life of
Yes.
love, of everything of a home.
Uh-huh.
So we went to shows, we went to the Cotton Club,
Mm-hmm.
and we danced a lot.
Yeah. Wow.
And I learned that culture from my grandmother to stand up straight, be proud of
Mm-hmm.
who you are. And I really didn't understand it at the struggle that they had when John F. Kennedy died and everybody was crying in the street. And I was like, well, what the hell is going on and stuff like that? Because I was a baby. So I like to, well, I still do say whatever comes to my mind. I just, it is what it is.
Come
I
on.
love it.
This is where we
I
do
love
it.
it.
It's my truth. And my mother taught us at a young age, no make no sense lying, because it ain't no inheritance. So you ain't gonna get no from me.
I love it.
Miss out on a gift or something by telling a lie.
Absolutely.
So my young life was sweet. I come from out of Queens, St. Albans. I played with Count Basie and James Brown's kids.
Wow.
I didn't know the difference. We just played.
Okay.
Life was really good here. Actually, the home that I was a young child in, my grandparents bought at when I was 2, is the home that I own now.
Wow.
Oh, come on, sis.
So
That's crazy.
still where I was a young baby. And I remember those days when, because we went through different religions, and I didn't understand, but I know that I did not want to put my coins in that tray, because I had to go, and get some ice cream,
Okay.
stuff like that. So life was, but like I said, life was good. We lived here with my grandparents. My mother was a state worker, and things didn't get too rough till we moved to the south side. Because I didn't really understand my life. And I'm going all the way from my life because to know who I am. And I am not a gangster. I am a traumatized person learning how to survive the streets of New York City.
Now, hold on, because I was going to talk about that. I said we're going to leave that. I know when I gave you a call, you was like, well, who picked that topic?
Yeah.
She came straight out and said, well, who
That was
picked
my bad.
Well, no, I don't think it's your bad. Like I said, I know that you know our audience and that, you've been with me for some months now. And I know that you know our audience and the stuff that they like to hear and stuff. You say Gangsterette, and now she got her life together. She got her shit together. They want to hear that. That's what they're gonna want to hear that, And so I was like, okay, well, we can ready get into it. And I know that a lot of trauma and our bullying and being a bully and the beatings and the lack of therein in the household all turns to trauma. We really do. Here on Bring It to the Table, we get that. We really do. We get that. But to have someone of your stature, your age, your beauty, your ethnicity, and your life's experience to come to the show and actually say, yeah, in Harlem, that really happened to me. Yeah. I'm almost sure that the audience is getting ready to go wild because it's important to see people of color, Black people, us, Black, African American, whatever you want to call yourself, talk about the trauma and then name exactly what it is. Because everybody go around saying, and I know Toya, and you too, Azzam, can agree with this. Everybody always say, depressed. Everybody always say, I got anxiety. Everybody always say, I'm moody, I'm this and that. Well, but nobody don't talk about what's the underlining stuff that contributed to you being depressed.
Absolutely.
And then here on Bring It to the Table, we go from that deep to, well, how you living now? Who are you now? What are you doing now? And I think that the transparency and the transition that takes place is, I'm talking about imparable. It's imparable. That's the thing that makes this show a show.
Okay.
And so my next question would be, if you don't mind telling the audience your age, and I know that we don't tell our age.
I do.
I know you do, because I heard you on the other platform say it.
66.7 years old.
Come on, sis.
I am. 66.7. And the reason why I make that statement, and I know you heard it before, because I told you when I was younger, a preacher, used to hang out with kids, and so we could hang out. We used to go to the little hole-in-the-wall churches and stuff like that. And I used to like to go with my friends' parents and stuff like that. And the preacher said, you ain't gonna live to be 21, and you're gonna die on a Thursday. So as I say all the time, okay, well, I can't do 21 backwards or forwards anymore. So when I woke up, when I turned 66, I cried. I said, oh, sugar. I'm 66 years old, and people counted me out. And not just that preacher, but people in the street counted me out a long time ago. But like I said, they say that's being good. No, I was for the fittest of the street, a survivor of New York City streets. And I lived different places and and act the same way that I act now. Ain't no different.
Thank you so much, Queen. I appreciate that. Look, and then when you're saying, oh my gosh, let's say hi to the audience real quick, because this is so important. We have a very engaging audience, and they are on here now. Please click like and share. Invite someone to our final episode of Bring It to the Table. I'm your host, author Doc B, and we have our co-host Azzam and our special guest, Toya. Yes. Toya from New York City, right?
Yes.
Ooh, it's about to go down in the hood. Hi, Herb. Thank you for joining. Hi, Wayne. Thank you for joining. Hi, Elroy. Thank you for joining. Carolyn, thank you all for joining. Listen, it's so many of them. Let me look over here, because you got YouTube, you got LinkedIn, you got my podcast on Facebook Live. It's just like live TV. It's just crazy. And then tomorrow morning, we wake up, we'll have like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of more people that will look at it from Africa, overseas, or whatever. I don't care. But anyway, I'm so elated to have you on with us tonight, because we all have a story, but your story is definitely, and everybody be saying that story not unique. Yes, it is. I'm the one that lived it, so mine is unique. Oh my God. Hi, Herb. Hi, Mr. Bradley. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you all. Listen, ask Toya questions. We want to hear from you. We want your engagement. Bring It to the Table is an audience engagement podcast. It's not just myself and the guests, and we're questioning her, but we got some questions, don't we, Azzam?
Yes, we do. Yes,
okay,
we do.
I'm going to get right to it. Let me go to the next question. So now, what we learned so far. What did we learn, Azzam? We learned where she came from, where she grew up at, how old she is, And she talks about trauma. We say gangster, she say trauma. And it's, and we talked about the differences between the two, right? And if you all have questions, please drop them in the chat. So now, our next question is going to be, hi, Shannon, I see you, sweetie. Thank you for joining. In the household, right? When you were younger, who did you grow up with in the household? Like, who was inside the house with you when you grew up?
So, up to the age of 5, my grandparents, my mother, my older sister, and my brother, which I told you I was the baby back then. I think I can't remember how old I was, because I can remember a lot of stuff. But I know I wasn't in no kindergarten. I wasn't going to school, because I hung out with my father to go play them numbers, because he
here come the numbers.
The baby. He was the babysitter, because my mother always worked.
Okay.
My father was he ran the streets. He was a pretty boy. My dad was a pretty boy. And a womanizer. And up until I told my mother about that woman that was a bar called Eddie Palm Garden, he took me and sat me on the bar, and some lady said that I was pretty, and I went home and told my mother, and I ain't never go back outside no more. So I was introduced to kindergarten and I was sent to school, which I
Wow.
hated.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
So now,
Yeah,
did you?
I worked the street from a little kid.
Okay, so so did your dad? So your dad took you? Did he take you in and out of bars with it, or collecting
Sure.
numbers?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what's the earliest age you sat at a bar stool? At a bar stool?
Well, it had to be before kindergarten. And I can remember he had a Thunderbird. So not so much of a
Mhm.
bar stool as sitting on top of the bars
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. And because that's what he did. That's
Uh-huh.
where he was at, and he had to take me with him because my older sister and brother had to go to school.
Yes, I love the bar though. I love the bar. That's where they
Yeah.
give you the dollars and stuff
And
when you little. You get the money and everything. You come home, you got all the money, and then I learned to take the money to school, manipulate the kids, and buy them candy and all kinds of stuff. It was a
that money was kind of a problem for me at a young age too. But
Oh, come on.
why? Tell us why.
So we dressed well. My father hit a number, bought a house. We moved out of this house where I'm at now, and we moved to I don't know. I don't think it was the hood, but it could have been the hood. You know,
It could have been.
it could have been the hood. And he had a store that was attached to our house. So there's when I sat on my first bar stool, and it was very interesting. It was a jukebox in there, and I used to dance on the counter.
Oh,
yes.
So you know, that was my thing. I used to dance. Oh, baby, it was.
I love it.
You know, I still love to dance.
Me too. Me too.
So and things was good, but then things got bad, and the reason why that's when the trauma started. My father, as I know now, first he was illiterate, but he could count. So he could count money. He could do that money, and he could start a business. Always had some kind of business, but he always had a woman on the side. And his one key thing that I remember about him having these women is that he had to treat his kids well. They had to treat us well. So he always had a side woman, and he used to drink a lot, and he would come home and fight my mother. So I was still a baby, and it went on for a long time. And my sister, you know, she used to, the police, 103rd precinct, for anybody here in New York and live in Queens, 100, they would never help my mother. They would never help my mother, you know. And then I realized, let me just tell you this part, and I'm gonna tell you what I realized. But I realized
take your time. Take your time.
Police never helped my mother, and my sister was the oldest, who is 4 years older than me. And when she heard my father coming, she would arm us. So being that I was the youngest, I got the hammer, and her, my brother had the, remember the big black frying pan?
Yeah. That's the skillet pan.
Yes, going down with them.
Yeah. So it was like, soon as he came through the door and he would run up on her, she said, go. And we would beat him. We would beat him. So I learned violence at a young age.
Sure.
And it went on for a while because my mother ain't put him out. He would still come back, and the same thing happened. And my sister said, excuse my friends, we're gonna bust his ass wide open. And she was
yes.
She was really serious about that. We had to protect our mother.
Get them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I really do appreciate that.
So that's where trauma starts.
Yeah.
It wasn't being against it, was protected.
Okay.
It was protected. You know, we had to protect our mother, we had to protect each other, and we wasn't coming home without each other.
Absolutely. I love it.
So it was like the military. Then I got a younger sister. She's 10 years younger than me.
Okay.
And it wasn't to 2 that my mother finally had enough. My brother went into the military. She had my mother sign them in. And it's funny you said about the Black Panthers because they used to have a place on 109th Avenue and New York Boulevard, it was called back then. So that's where I hung out at. And it was militant, and I liked it that. It was militant, and it was about Black power and teaching us, that we didn't have to. I think that's what you heard me say something last week about who I don't care about. I ain't gonna say it tonight.
I remember that.
We don't take shit from the police, and we don't take shit from white people.
Nobody.
I grew up with that mind frame of not letting the people take advantage of our people. We got bullied. I didn't get bullied. Oh, I got bullied when I was younger, but my sister took care of that.
Ooh, I was the one in my family like that. I take care of anybody that messed with my brother.
She was the oldest, and that was her job to protect us.
That was my job. Like That's right.
So, it was like for the fittest, the survival of the fittest. But I need to say, in between that time, my brother went to the military, my sister stayed home, and I went to the streets.
And okay, getting good now.
Street,
getting good. About to get good at it.
And
oh yeah,
I was in junior high school, and we had. I could buy a $2 bag of dope, and I met people that I was fascinated with. People that didn't seem to have a hard life as we did, and used to go with shopping carts to get food, and I used to like that. I like that cheese. That cheese make good macaroni and cheese, and cheese.
Girl, who you telling? Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Powdered milk because it make good hot chocolate. So I asked my mother about why we couldn't get it. And she slapped me in my head talking about because we couldn't get welfare. So I used to go to my girlfriend's house, and her mother used to bake homemade cakes and stuff like that. And it seemed like they had it all together, but at my house was disarrayed to me because of the trauma of the beating. Then I had a neighbor that used to always try to get with me and stuff like that, and one upstairs, and I kind of like kept it to myself, and I just went to the street because the streets were safer. Staying at my girlfriend's house was safer than staying at home because my mother was at work and my father was home, and my brother had went to the military. So that was another type of trauma that I had to face, and I just started hanging out, going to school, sniffing $2 bags of dope, and that's how. Can I
ask you a question about the $2 bag of dope? This is in Harlem, correct?
No, this is in Queens.
Okay, but you're in New York. Okay, so you're in New York. You're in Queens.
This isn't time of the Vietnam controversy was still going on, and they was coming home. So all 5 boroughs was full of drugs.
Okay. But was it the Doogie? Was it Doogie?
Yeah.
I knew it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love hearing the Doogie stories. Yeah.
You could go uptown, or you could get it in Queens, because whatever was in Harlem flowed to the boroughs.
Yeah.
Wow.
It came to the boroughs.
Wow.
So, and the after hour spots and stuff, there was bars and stuff. We could go in there at young ages and stuff like that. It wasn't a problem on the street, In the 70s, it was plenty of money and plenty of drugs.
Ooh-wee. Come on. She there. You good.
Yeah, it was plenty of money, plenty of streets. Lennox Lounge, uptown. She liked to talk about Manhattan. Lennox Lounge was the place to be. You see it in all the movies.
Yes, it is.
Go up there.
It is.
get dressed up. It used to be a hustler's ball. So that's what my life was about. My life was like. But all that time, I was using heroin, and I wasn't 21 years old. I was in 18. I was still in junior high school.
I was just about to ask you how old you was when that occurred.
I
That's
was
the
in junior
onset.
high school. I might have been, I want to say, but I could have been younger. When I got introduced to heroin, I might have been 12. That's when you were in junior high school, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Junior high school, yeah.
Yeah. And then that went on for a while.
And who's your entourage at this time? Who are you hanging with now? Now that you left the home, who are your people now? Who you hanging with other than your girlfriend?
I was hanging out with people that I went to school with.
Okay.
Her mother worked also.
Oh.
Her mother worked also, but it was like 7 to 8 of them in the house.
Wow.
I didn't know gay people until I started hanging out with them, and they was my friends. So I didn't know nothing different about how people got all these problems today, because it's always been around. And people in the 70s ain't had no problem like they want to act like they have problems now. So I was kind of happy on the street. You know, hanging out with people that were gay. I learned about being well dressed.
Okay.
You know, because they was sharp as a tack all the time and had money all the time. One thing, you know, because I always paid attention to people and how they lived, how they dressed. And it appeared to be that they were happy together.
Wow.
Always happy together. So that kind of kept me in the street around people, and you were always welcome into the home. I don't know if people had their own problems that they didn't really realize that the kids was getting high. And that's what I did. Then I got introduced to hustling. And that was exciting. Boosting, pickpocketing, till tapping. Then you got dressed, and there was the person, the makers. They made cars. You go in the store. It was times that I had my kids, and I used to dress them with different coats and just walk them out the store.
Oh yeah, my mom did that too. We went to this place called Valley Fair on Chancellor Avenue in Newark. That's crazy.
So, and I sold the stuff. The kids got dressed, and whatever was in there, I sold it. You know, and life went on for that for a while. And I have 4 kids.
Okay.
I had 4 kids at the age of 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At 24, you have 4 already.
At 24, that's all I had. After that, it was over.
Okay.
So I grew up with my kids.
Wow.
That's good.
Pretty much.
Let's say hi to the audience. Is that okay? Let's just take one quick break. Hi, Taj. I think Taj is in Africa. Forever. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Paula. Hi. I think this is Paula's first time. Haven't seen you, Paula. Thank you for joining. Hi, Raina. Thank you for joining. Oh, look at those hearts. Thank you for the hearts. We love hearts here on Bring It to the Table. We work hard to keep the show up and running. My daughter's here. Hi, Lynn. Lynn, thank you for joining. Jeff Coat, thank you for joining. I really appreciate you. And these are the recent joiners. We really do appreciate you.
Absolutely.
For a minute. So, Azzam, go ahead. You want to go for the questions?
Don't forget to subscribe.
Good. It's a halfway through, y'all. 29.
Yeah. So again, the Doogies there, right? What other substances come into play?
So back in there, it was people were sniffing dope, skin popping. You know, heroin was in the early 70s. Heroin was it wasn't dust back then. It was used to take pills so that we would like purple haze pills and stuff like that. And they call it something different now. I can't remember the name of it, but we used to ecstasy.
Oh, that's the new right.
Yeah. And we used to trip.
Was it the sombrero hats, Snoopy's?
And we tripped.
Got you.
We
Got
tripped.
you.
And
They
her,
don't know about that back in the days.
well,
If the
well,
new
we
people
was
don't know
kids
about
then.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about that either.
The Snoopy? Oh my God.
I know nothing about that until when I went to school and heard these nicknames when I started to study.
Wow.
In my psychopharmacology class, where we
Yeah.
were talking about different substances, and the professor would play old videos and show us old stuff from way back then. I
Wow.
couldn't even understand because they was in black and white.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all have to educate me tonight.
Yeah. Snoopy was an acid that you trip off of. He had a little sombrero hat, and you could break it up into fours, and 4 people could get a corner of it all, and y'all tripping for about 4 or 5 hours.
And methadone was methadone.
Come on, she going there.
Biscuits was very popular too, because you could also cut that into 4 squares.
Wow.
And you'd be high all day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
that's amazing.
Downers was very, very much popular back in the 70s.
Okay. So at what point the downhill gets rough, rugged, and you have your awakening where like, I don't want to live like this no more?
So it took a long time for that to happen. In the end of the 70s, I was still well, I used to hang out in the gambling spot with my girlfriends, and then it was money there. Bank robbers, all of that. And shit, I was cute. So it doesn't make no sense lying. I was always cute.
Come on.
I'm a good looking
I know that's right.
But I was a bad little chick back when I was younger. And I had a gambler at 21. I turned 21. I had a gambler that had drawers of money, and I got all the dollars in the $5 bills. So I was good, but I was using drugs. I was using drugs, and when it was over with him, I started going out till tapping. Basically, till tapping was the hustle back then. Other things was going on and stuff, but that was mainly what I was doing with a crew, a Muslim brothers, And the thing was, and they impacted that because we was robbing white people. It wasn't about robbing our own, but going places where real money was at and bringing it back to the community. So that's kind of the headset of my explosion the other night about what I don't give a F about them and stuff like that. And then it went on to, I became a crew of 7 men and 1 me, and was a part of a stick-up crew. And I really liked it. That was
only female.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wait, did she say stick up crew?
Stick up crew. Yeah.
What year was that? Was that in the 80s?
Yes, ma'am. 70s to the 80s.
So that means you got locked up.
I did, but it's a funny thing. I was the only one that didn't get locked up, and guess why I didn't get locked up? Because I went into labor, and they came to see me, and my son's father and the rest of them went to jail for a long time. Actually, I think I might have been saved from the AIDS epidemic because of that, because the last one of them just died like 2 weeks ago.
Oh my
The
God.
whole crew that came home and stuff like that. And those that did come home, they came home was let go because of the virus, HIV. And
Mm.
Yeah.
and it was bumping car robberies on the highways and stuff, and taking
Mm.
money like that, and taking trucks, meat trucks, and all that. So
Yeah.
that was exciting, and it was money. And then the heroin use escalated to skin popping,
Mm-hmm.
fast
Mm-hmm.
way of getting high and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a son,
Mm-hmm.
and I met this guy, me and my girlfriend, still pretty as shit. I just want y'all to know.
Hello.
Um, and I had seen me and my girlfriend. We was going down South Road, and I wasn't using at that time because I had just gave birth. But the key thing of it, I seen this guy, and my girlfriend was with me, and I seen this guy, and he was he had on British Knights, he had on a wife beater and a pair of shorts, and he had a baseball bat,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and he was beating somebody with this bat. And I looked at it and I said, you know, that's gonna be my husband.
Ah, because he was beating her. Ah.
That was attractive.
Fine as hell from the back, baby. I didn't know what he looked like from the front. I was looking at him from the back, and he was gorgeous. I think you met him already.
Yes, we did.
And
He next. We're gonna get him next. Let him know.
Uh-huh.
he might be somewhere on. He's on here somewhere. And I said, "That's gonna be my husband." She said, "Well, I know him." I said, "Well, just introduce me to him." And she introduced him to me. That's my husband for like 41 years
Wow. Come on.
today.
Oh
And
my God. Congratulations. That's a long time. Y'all heard that, folks.
Y'all
Right
heard
here
that?
on Lift Bring It to the
4
Table.
decades and bring it to the
so
table.
he used to try to leave me in the house, but I guess I where that gangster is, I went to the street. I was hustling, straight up hustling. I was hustling with him, and I caught I think I had maybe 2 or 3 statements, and we hustled on this block. Um, and it was like a community. Everybody hustled. Everybody hustled. Everybody had a corner, and that's what we did for for a good little while, if I can remember, from the early '80s. I think the police might have shut it down in '85 and stuff like that. And we went to another level of going out of town. And we were still hustling and, you know, doing selling drugs. That's what we did. That's what we did. And I did the same thing. And my husband um, was like an enforcer. He wasn't like a boy. My husband was an enforcer. So I hustled, and he had my back, and that's how we hustled together.
Mm-hmm.
So we went out of town, and it didn't end very well. Didn't end very well. The police knocked on the door, and they asked me for this man, and I didn't know that they asked for somebody. I said, "Well, I don't know who that is," and stuff like that. And they said I lied, but the person they asked for, I ain't know that name. I knew
Mm-hmm.
what my name was. I gave them my name, but I didn't know who the person was that they was talking about. And we
Mhm.
left, and the feds came, and they got us. I left South Carolina, went to North Carolina, and the feds picked us up. They came and got us. We seen them coming, and we called ourselves leaving. And we went to car because the kids was in the house, so we called ourselves going away from the kids. And they caught us on this highway, and they stopped us, and the police put a pistol to my head and told my husband to put his hands on the dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
It don't take but 12 hours to get from North Carolina to South Carolina to Columbia. They dragged us for 5 whole days to get us back to South Carolina. That's another trauma.
Sure. I'm sure.
Being,
Yeah.
being like
Oh,
New York is butter going to jail and stuff like that. You know, it wasn't, you know, going upstate. Okay. That's my bodyguard. That's the other one.
oh, okay.
Somebody,
Hey, listen, you
might be
got
and they took us back and they said that I facing 40 years, and I was like, well, shit, what the hell did I do for 40 years and stuff like that? And then this man walked up on me, and my husband was like, yo, get the fuck away from her. And I don't know why this is it's an interesting thing. I was with 7 men, and I was the only female going to the fest.
Mm-hmm.
7 number, and one plays the number plays in my head because it's not the first time, it's the second time. So they invited us and stuff like that. The end result was that that's my husband, and I'm going where he going because I always went where he went. So I went to jail. He went to jail, and a few other people. Everybody went to jail. Everybody went to jail. And they gave me 3 years for misprision of a felon. And the crime was knowing that a crime was being committed and didn't report it. And I was trying to figure out, well, what was the crime that I didn't report and stuff like that. So they couldn't really tell me. And my mother sent my sister and them to come get my kids and stuff like that. They came back to New York. So they sent me back to New York. I did my time in Connecticut, federal prison, Danbury, Connecticut, and I did my time there. And they gave my husband 15 years. So we were separated for a while. We were separated then. And I remember being there, and it was like they had me sweeping pebbles on the ground, and it was just every day, same shit, sweeping up rocks. And I remember that I fell weed whacking down a hill, and I fell out of the federal prison in front of a car because they had those high walls, stone walls, if you ever see it in Connecticut. And when I fell out, I fell in front of the car, and the lady got out the car, and she went to me. I said, oh, hell no, don't touch me, because I didn't want them to think that I was trying to escape. So I waited there and let them take me right on back in, and they patched me up. I wasn't really hurt that bad because I kind of took a run with it, and I was young. I was still young. So federal prison plays a mind game. They're different from the state. You know, the state was like brutality and stuff like that. If you went to that, if you allowed yourself to be put in that predicament, shit, you in jail. Didn't make no sense to go to another jail. So when my time was up, 3 years was up, I'll never forget this officer a black officer said, "You'll be back." I said, "The fuck if I be back? I'm not."
Right.
What you talking about? But I ain't coming back there. And when I went out and it was this hill and I looked down the hill, my sister, her man, and my grandbaby
Was
that I
there.
had. And what was interesting about my grandbaby, she had a suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
So I came home with a grandbaby in tow, and I came back to this house right here that I'm at. My mom and my grandfather was here and stuff like that. My son, who was a good kid, started acting out. So he was put into Lincoln Watts. This was one of them centers for kids and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter, she was surviving the best that she could. And my oldest daughter was living here. And then my other daughter, she was doing her thing. She was 17. So I said, now I got to come up with a damn plan here.
Yeah, I know you did.
The plan.
What's the plan? Get the plan. Because we got 15 minutes left now, Toya.
My higher self was the best thing that came with me. A lady in public assistant helped me get public assistant, right? I went to the rooms. I got clean. Matter of fact, I was clean when I went to jail to the feds. I got clean in 91.
Mm-hmm.
But I was still addicted to money. So it's different addictions that you can have. It ain't just always the substance. It could be to that paper too. And a girl in the rooms. She lived in this apartment building, and she knew the people that owned it. And I got me a 1-bedroom apartment.
Came up with the plan, baby. That's the plan.
So now where I got cleaned at, the program I got cleaned at, I went back there and volunteered.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
And went to college. And by that time I was 30, maybe 38 or something like that. Yeah, I was 38. And I went to college for my bachelor's degree, but I did a bachelor's degree in 2 years and 8 months because I said, shit, I'm old. I got to get this going now. And I was running groups. I was running groups. I was on the alcohol side. Substance abuse side didn't do too much for me because they kicked up my shit. And I would get angry. And I wasn't learning shit from that. But what I found that in alcohol, them old timers knew how to live.
Yeah.
In the rooms, they wanted to complain about you, the aches and pains and all that. But them old timers, and I paid attention to them. So I went to AA. Went to college. I got a bachelor's degree.
Come on.
Met a sister. She was a 5%. Me and her went to school. And we took the train together. Then I got a car, and then we drove and stuff like that. And the car I had, every pay I got a job. They hired me.
Yeah.
They hired me from that program, and I was running a group. And a guy that came in there, and he sat in my group and stuff like that. And the topic was whatever the group was, street life. What picks up your shit, addictions and stuff like that. And where we was last week, that person showed me how to pick topics to keep to engage the clients and stuff like that. And I went to school. The guy came back and said, "Listen, I like what you're doing. Come work with me and stuff like that." So it was more money than I was getting. Okay, so now I'm gonna upstep my game. And I started working in the homeless shelter. Well, I love the people in the shelter because them are the people I used to sell drugs to and stuff like that. So I didn't have no problem with that. And I was working with women.
Right.
I did that as a case manager. And then my skill set from the streets kicked in to help people because I was scared of the people.
That's translation.
But I'll be telling everybody that just skills from the street come with you into a new life.
Transformation.
And I
inside of you.
say this about you. I don't mean no harm, but my street skills help the people, but I needed them degrees to get that paper.
Oh, of course.
Always a paper chaser. Always was a paper chaser. So I was a case manager, and guy that I work with, he used to flirt a lot with the girls and stuff like that. But I was watching what he was doing with his skill sets and stuff like that. So he ended up getting a sexual harassment charge. And the second time, and they fired him, I started doing his work. So the boss never, who didn't know what he was doing, and the rest of the girls wasn't interested in him, but he could flirt with me. I didn't give a shit about him flirting. You know, I'm trying to get a sales.
Yeah. I understand.
My game is tight, and I'm gonna keep on, right?
I understand.
So he said, "Listen, I can't give you the money because you don't have a master's degree."
Oh, it's going down now. It's going down now. It's going down now.
Oh, okay, and stuff like that. So I finished up my bachelor's degree, and then I had a professor. He said, "You make your graduate school count," because that's where the money was at. So I wanted to go to this college called Fordham University, right? But I didn't go there because Yeshiva University, which is a Jewish college, gave me grant money because I was Black.
Oh yeah, I'm going right over there.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. So that's where I'm going in. I'm going up in there and work. So then I went there and I grabbed. My mother was alive when I got my bachelor's degree. She didn't get to see me graduate for my master's degree, but my father was there.
Nice.
So I was clean. I had a job. I was having a good time because I was helping people that I could identify with.
Yes.
And then women were coming through the shelter, and they see me. They empowered them. Oh shit! If she can make it, I know damn well I can make it.
Right.
You know,
that's the best thing. That's the best thing.
Yeah, one day at a time. So I got my master's degree.
Nice. Good
job. Got my master's degree, and I became a social worker. I did not get my license because I was a felon. Social work is a hard field to get in because them white folks don't want to get. If you're a felon, they're not giving you no master's degree. A little thing done changed. It changed a little bit now. So I'm going to sit for the test. So when I come back and see you again, Dr. B, I'm gonna have a license.
Oh, that's what we talking about.
That's what's up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Is because the state allowed me to be. I am a notary public. Yeah, and it's a license, so I am a public service worker, independent, but I got my paperwork to waiver my felon. They're there, but they're not there.
Well, thank you so much. Now we're going to slow it down a little bit because we have about 7 minutes left, and we want to thank our Queen Toya C from coming in. Let's bring it to the table today, dropping jewels on us. You heard it right here with your host, your girl, Author Doc B, and the co-host, Azzam, Abdullah Azim.
In the building.
Listen. Bring it to the table. It's a safe space where anyone can come who have overcome, conquered, survived anything, and is living beyond your dream. It's an offspring from my book, The 3 C's, my second book, the workbook, the GPS, the general practice of survival skill. It's already inside of you. Now you need to bring it out and make it work for you. Okay. We work for the letters. We work for the recovery. We work for a life on life term. So now listen, you got to get going and take your program on the road. You see, Toya did it. Azzam did it. And you already know I'm doing it, right? Let me thank a couple of people. Hi, Siobhan. Thank you for coming. Oh my God, my old home group member. Hey, Raymond. Hi, thank you for coming. I see you doing. Thank you all for coming. Is that Zarah? I don't want to mess it up. Thank you for coming. I really do appreciate you. Erica said, I miss y'all. I love you, Doc. I miss you. Thank you. We miss you too. Please keep coming back. Oh my God, next year it's going down. Azzam and I've been talking, and I know y'all better follow him on TikTok. We bringing some of that content over here.
Absolutely.
Oh, we getting ready to go. Oh, we going in. We going ham. We're going to talk about a lot more illnesses in the new year. A lot more people do recover from illnesses. You know, I myself, the second C in my book is cancer. And you know, I survived it. It came, we fought, and we won. And that's why we're here right now today. So let's ask our queen our final question. We got 5 minutes. What would you tell a person who is struggling right now from any of those, especially the part where the criminal record piece, where you talked about incarceration and stuff, and they're returning to society with substance use disorders, mental health, criminalization? Listen, what would you tell that person right now? What would you tell them right now at 67 years old, having gone through all of that stuff? Doogie, you snorted and shot Doogie back then. And look at you today, becoming a licensed clinical social worker at the age of 67 years old. If that ain't hope, hi, Paul. Thank you for joining. Thank you. If that ain't hope for the audience, I don't know what would be. So what would you say to that person?
We can make this clear. And don't forget that I also smoke crack.
Woo, bam. You heard that, folks.
Busting the head.
Busting bam.
Yeah, I got that. But anyway, so if you just coming home, you need to sit down, just take a break, and just think about, I made it. Look, I got a higher power. You can call your higher power wherever you want. I got one that I talk to every day. Be thankful. It's about being grateful to make it. Everybody on this platform gotta have a story of gratitude, or you wouldn't be here even listening to my story.
Where those hearts at? Where those hearts at? Come on now.
That's good stuff. So thank you. That's good. That's really good.
Stand up and get with the right people.
I like that. Thank you. So it's about the support. Get with the right people. Sit down. Get some gratitude. Increase your gratitude. Understand that you are free now, and that the chances of living life on life terms is right beneath your feet. Get up, do the work, but you got to sit down first. Okay. So that's it for tonight. Any last remarks, Azzam?
Once again, one of my favorites is, do not dig up doubt where you buried with faith.
Yes.
Do not dig up doubt what you buried with faith. And come see me, as Doc B said, TikTok. I got it live. Me, Dad, and Dementia. Y'all gotta come see that. It's bittersweet. And you will find some laughs, some humor, but then you'll see the realness of what it's like to be able to forgive somebody with no regrets.
There you go. There it is. You heard it right here on Bring It to the Table. We'll see you all next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Please click like and share. Go to YouTube, Bring It to the Table with author Doc B, and hit subscribe. Good night and Happy New Year to all of you. Happy New Year. We'll see you in the next year.
Love you.
This is year 3 for us, y'all. Year 3.
Hold up, sis. Before you go.
Let me see. Let me see.
Come here, Dad. Come here. Say hi to the people.
Oh, I can't see him. There you go, y'all. TikTok story.
You can.
Assalamualaikum.
Look forward. We bring it to the table. He will be coming. Thank you, Dad.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for bringing him. He got my jacket on.
Peace.
Oh, that was great. That was good,
fam. Talk to your husband, because he's up next year. We bringing him too.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's going down. You already know. Thank y'all so much. That was a really good way to close the show. I really appreciate that content right there. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night, Lady T. Good night, Queen. Thank you for the jewels. I appreciate it.
See you next year.
Okay. See you next year.
Love, respect.